in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts because he's handled tens of thousands of them. Our guest tonight is the Honorable James R. Lawton, retired Justice of the Plymouth Probate and Family Court, which, for those of you in our listening audience in Plymouth County, has sessions in both Brockton and Plymouth. Judge Lawton has served on the bench for 31 years. He is now retired in private practice in Brockton, and he knows more about divorce and the related issues that go along with it than probably anyone else we've ever had on this show. We've had a lot of people talk about divorce, but now we have someone who is straight from the bench, and he can tell us the insider's point of view. Welcome, Your Honor, to the David Grossack Show. It is an honor to have you
David,
here.
it's wonderful being with you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for the invitation. I appreciate it.
Your Honor, can you tell us a little bit about what are some of the most memorable aspects of your years on the bench, and particularly in divorce cases? And what single message, if there was one, would you reach out to people who perhaps maybe they're going through a divorce, or they're contemplating a divorce, or they're trying to decide if their marriage is worth saving? What kinds of insights could you bring to them?
Well, that is very difficult for me to answer because my experience through the years on the bench was the great lack of really professional help that is available to both men and women if they wanted to seek professional advice on that particular issue. And so usually they do turn to their attorneys as to what direction they should take. Many couples who are contemplating divorce, I feel, should consult somebody with whom they're very, very close, who has some professional experience in the area. And unfortunately, those individuals are usually people who have some particular expertise, and that leads them to go to an attorney who has had or developed some experience in that area. I know that we're living in a very difficult and trying time, and it's very difficult at the present time to suggest that there are any particular avenues anyone could follow other than the professional advice of people who do handle the whole issues of divorce every day.
Well, lawyers don't get paid unless there's a divorce, so it's sort of they're shooting themselves, or so we're shooting ourselves in the foot if we tell people to try to reconcile.
Well, I don't think that's necessarily true. I really find that there are so many instances where, in my experience at least, where lawyers have made their initial effort, and the initial question I think that every lawyer asks his client is there any possibility of saving this marriage? Is there any possibility of having some discussions with either your wife or with your husband to see if there's a possibility of working out some accommodation that might save your marriage? Lawyers, as a general rule, granted, might possibly develop a very substantial financial package if the divorce goes through. But lawyers, as a general rule, sign an agreement with their clients as it concerns fees, and they also have an hourly rate that they charge. And this is all part of the disclosure responsibility under the Code of Professional Responsibilities to which lawyers and the courts are bound. And I still feel that lawyers, as a general rule, do make a genuine effort to try to save marriages. I think that one of the things that I have to mention, David, not to cut you off and not to take a lot of time, is that when we think in terms of what is going on in our society, one of the overriding concerns that we all have is, does this married couple, or do they have children? And quite frankly, most people don't realize it, but at least, and I'm not able to nail this down because I didn't figure on using any statistics on this program, but I would say that at least half or 60% of all custody orders that are made in the probate and family court deal with children who are born to couples who are not married to each other. As you know, David, there has been in at least the last 5 to 8 years a tremendous amount of activity in bringing petitions in the probate and family court, and even in the district court department and the juvenile court department, petitions to establish paternity. That means we're talking about men and women who have children but who are not married to each other, but are using the petition for paternity to establish a responsibility on the part of the non-custodial parent to make a financial contribution to the support of the child. So we're dealing in our society not really as much as many people would think with marriage as such. We're talking about large numbers of people, the great majority of whom are not married to each other, but who do live with each other and who do produce children. So we're talking about something that the average person is not aware of. This is something that has developed, I would say, probably in the last 15 years. I was on the court for 31 years, and this particular problem of the illegitimate children and the custody of children, two couples who are not married, is a tremendous, tremendous source of concern to me. If there was one thing that troubled me more than anything else, it would be the fact that there are literally millions of children across America born every year to couples who are not married to each other, and many of these children wind up in the hands of people who are really not their proper custodians.
Not equipped with the parenting skills.
Yeah.
Well, they have these blood grouping tests, so the paternity, there's no escape from these blood grouping tests if they pin a male down to take one, and then he can't leave this. I guess it's a felony now if you are in arrears in your child support and you leave Massachusetts. It's actually a felony to leave the state unless you do support your children.
Right.
So that, I thought that was a rather draconian measure. Did you approve of that?
I think it's cruel. No, I don't. No, I think that's something that that is absolutely unacceptable. But you know, a lot of things have happened under the guise of enforcing child support, because what do you do with paternity? You not only establish a parental relationship, but you establish a child support order. You establish an order to visit and take the children on a schedule to be established by the court. So there's a great deal to this. I mean, more than people could possibly comprehend. Where that is all going, I really don't know. And if there was one thing that troubled me when I left the court, and I have no regrets about leaving the court because mandatory retirement is age 70, and I understand that, but it is going to be a real problem for generations of children to come in this country.